Hello and welcome to All About The Gers. Myself, Ricki Neill, joined with Derek and Charlie. A big thank you to all our sponsors. We've got the Leiden Tavern, Ibrox, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Mr. Singh's Restaurant, and Avia Signs. Just wanted to say a big thank you also to Plugged In Business Solutions. They've actually got Derek a new laptop that I'm going to drop off to you soon, so you'll have no problems with the Wi-Fi.
I hope no. You're not going to give a shout out to your... Are you not going to give a shout out to your physiotherapist?
Aye, Optima. It was Optima Physio, I think, in Clarkson.
Because you've called off a few times. Me and Charlie have been waiting on you.
I know. Sorry about that. I've got a frozen shoulder, which I didn't even know it existed, but it's one of the worst things I've ever had in my life, I think. So, but I went yesterday for the first time, and I can move it a lot better. And the pain's not as bad as it was, so you got a wee massage as well. So that was quite good.
You're getting old, mate.
I know. Do you know, I can remember somebody actually said to me, once you turn 40, your body starts failing. And that's so true, by the way, because when I turned 40, I got a hernia. Then when I was 50, it's this frozen shoulder.
Well, I'm rolling towards 60, so I can assure you it's only downhill, by the way.
Good.
It's not that bad.
Nah. How are you, Charlie?
I'm all right. Good, pal. Good, guys.
Good. So obviously we've not been on for about a week and a half, and it's quite a lot's happened. Played Aberdeen twice, 2-0 both games. I was quite impressed with the way Rangers were playing recently, Derek.
Oh, without a shadow of doubt. And they were two big games. Irrespective of how Aberdeen have been of late, which isn't very good, you still go that game. I mean, that's you've got to take care of that. Everything that goes with it. I thought we played really well at Ibrox, controlled it for most part, but I actually thought in the second game, Ricki, I thought we were going to get a real tough challenge. But I thought the performance up at Pittodrie, especially, I thought it was different class. I thought it was so controlled. In those games, you're normally on the edge a wee bit because in football it can turn so quick, but. At not one point during that game up at Pittodrie, I mean, the conditions were horrendous as well, but just the way they played, the control they had in the game, good performances, so it was excellent. So I really enjoyed the two performances against Aberdeen.
Charlie, obviously, big Fernandez scored against them with another set piece, so this Scott Fry, his set pieces seem to be working with the team now, don't they?
Well, he is 6'7", so he should be winning every bloody header, so... Nah, but he's getting on the end of a few. And the game at Ibrox, we controlled most of the game. They had two chances. We was sleeping at the back again with just a long ball over the top. And the boys ran through. And luckily enough that it just hits his knee and goes into Butler's hands. And then they had another one where he played to the same guy who just has to have it first time and takes a bad touch. But overall, the first game, I thought we controlled the game without them really... hurting us around like that. But I thought the second game, as Derek says, the second game was my worry. And I thought we controlled the game, played really well. How the hell Fernandez's goals no allowed, I will never understand that. A goalie runs 20 yards off his line and somebody's looking at the ball, waiting to header the ball. He does it before the goalie hits him and they don't get a goal. It's just a shambles. It is. It's mind-boggling how that can happen. Goalies are overprotected at the best of time, but to go and run however many yards off your line to try and catch a ball and the big man beats you, it's a goal. It should have been a goal.
Ricki, do you know something? See, of course it goes to VAR, but see when the referee is going to have a look at the monitor, you're thinking common sense is going to prevail because Fernandez is already there. He's already up in the air, well above the keeper. So the keeper comes into him and it's actually kind of on the way down that his arm makes contact. But where are you supposed to put your arms when you're jumping? You know, it's where you get your leverage. But the thing for me was, he was already there. He was up in the air, well above the keeper, and it's the keeper that initiates the contact. So I just thought the referee, he'll look at that and he'll go, that is a goal. So I was absolutely gobsmacked when it was chalked up. But thankfully, it didn't have an effect on the game because we were so good.
It didn't have any bearings in the game, but it's still the goal difference is going to maybe count at the end of the season. And I thought, see, when we didn't get a goal, I'm thinking to myself, Aberdeen can come out all guns blazing in the second half, put his backs against the wall. Obviously, it didn't happen, and I know that, but it was a very comfortable evening, thank God. But still, it's common sense that if you see somebody running away to try and punch a ball or grab a ball, another guy's already in a situation and he does that, how can he get a foul against him? It just doesn't make any sense.
I think the fact that Chris Sutton actually agrees that it should have been a goal and all, that shows you something's not right.
It just shows you how poor at times the referees can be. He gets a second look at it. You know, he is a good, and he can look at it 2 or 3 times in real speed, in slow motion, whatever way you look at it. It's a goal every day of the week. So that's a worry. So it is.
I don't know if you read in the paper the other day, they were talking about Fernandez. It was one of his old coaches or something that was saying he's going to make Rangers millions.
Very
Do you think I think he is going to turn into a decent player?
He's getting better all the time. He's getting more composed. He's still a bit of a bomb scare at times, and he still worries you. He still dreams. His concentration is still not the best yet. But defensively, when he's concentrated, he's good. He's winning his headers, but he has to defend. So, and plus, he's good in the offensive and the other team's box for us when he gets onto the end of headers. So, the end of crosses, sorry. But I'm sure he can only get better. He's 23-year-old or whatever he is, if he's that old. So I'm looking for many, many better things from him. But so far, so good. The business we have done in the transfer window, which is kind of it gives you a wee lift as well. Looking forward to seeing hopefully a couple more come in.
I'll just read out there's quite a lot of chat coming in social media. So Stephen Part saying, Derek, your comments on Gassama were spot on in the radio. He's been producing nothing.
That was a real shock to me the other night. You know, you look at it. I mean, I was obviously talking about Finlay Curtis. I thought he was excellent. Miovski comes in, plays really well. And it was the fact that we had obviously rested a number of players. And to me, it looked as if Gassama was a wee bit kind of feeling, was not loved because he had to take to the park. I mean, it was a Friday night, it's a cup game, it's under the lights. What's not to love in front of very near a full house at Ibrox? And just the way he went about his business was a bit of a worry to me. You know, I think he's a good player. He is a good player, he's proven that. But it just looked so disinterested. And that's why, you know, games like that, they're there for a reason. That's why there were so many changes. Dowell comes in, Rodwell comes in, Deja and Salah. And the only 2 that done themselves any justice, in my opinion, was Finlay Curtis and Miovski. Probably Dowell as well. Dowell scores a good goal with his head. And overall, he played pretty well. But quite a number of them. The 2 centre-halves, my God, Ricki, Charlie, the start of that game, come on. It's all about concentration. And they weren't at it at all. I tell you what, against better opposition, we could have found ourselves a goal behind. So thankfully, you know, it wasn't the strongest opposition we could have went up against. But
as I've said before, in the games you've not played for a while, it's difficult because you're expected to go and win. You're expected to go and win 5 or 6-0. They're 4th bottom of the League 2 or whatever they are. You still have to go and be professional, of course you do. But if you're not played for a long time, it's difficult to get not up and running, but it's difficult to get to the standard that the boys have been setting in the first team the last kind of few months. And it's always difficult to get to that level. But we got through. we got a good result. We get through. We win 5-0. Could have been more, or we could have lost a couple. But for me, I've been saying for, I don't know, is it 6 weeks, 2 months? Gassama has not been doing anything. I would sell Gassama if Villarreal are really interested in Gassama and they want to give good money for him. I would sell him right now.
Charlie, see on that, Annan hadn't played for 2 weeks. It was the 27th of December was their last game. They had a couple of games postponed.
Right.
Those guys as well, they're all working. They were at work Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So there isn't any excuses.
No, I know, I get that, but
that's what I get what you're saying. But what I'm trying to say, these guys, you're at Rangers because you're supposedly a good player. You know that these are part-timers. They haven't played. They haven't had the rest. Those players would have been in the hotel in the afternoon, probably getting a wee hour's kip or whatever. So in front of a home crowd, we expect a lot better. And that's why the two centre-backs, I just thought, I've got to say it, I thought they were horrendous at the start of the game, the first half hour. That's not good enough. So, and the reason I'm making a point about this because I wouldn't have any confidence in them going forward. I mean, we're talking about Fernandez is doing well, which is great. We've got Suter. But I don't think we could get in with any one of these two, Deja or Insala in a game, in my view, and feel confident about them.
No, well, we know Deja and Salah, to a lesser extent, because I think he's not had many chances, whereas Giga has had a lot of chances. And Salah's probably better than that because he's a left-sided player. He's good I think he's decent in the ball. Giga just does. He's just worries the life out of me every time he plays a game. It really does worry me. I think in Salah's he's got a wee bit about. I think he could be good, but he's no fancied there with the manager. He's not played enough. But I still believe we really need to get another centre-half in, 100%. Yeah. Cornelius is back February, I think, maybe middle of February. Good. So I would still send Giga back, to be honest with you. I would send him back to Wolves. I'd rather play in Salah if I had to drop, if Suter or Fernandez couldn't play.
Charlie, it was their body language as well. See, as soon as they ran out the tunnel, I was at the game. And you look at players and you could tell right away in the first minute or so. That's why I mentioned Gassama, because I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, he's no up for us. He's no fancying this tonight. He think that he's bigger and better than this because he's got up against lesser opposition. And then I looked at the two centre-backs as well and I'm going, yous are no concentrated, yous are no focused. And then I look at the young man, Finlay Curtis, he's bang at it. He's want to prove a point, show that he's a good player, but have that drive, that energy, that appetite for the game, as did Miovski. So there was quite a few of them that I don't think done. I know the result is 5-0, and you look at that, but you've got to look deeper than that. We should be beating Annan 5-0 at home, but I expect a better level. A play from a lot of the players.
There's Gary online. He's saying he would have preferred to play Curtis over Gassama over the past few weeks. And Charlie, I actually think he's the kind of player that Miovski needs. Because mine for ages we've been saying he's not getting the service. The wee man was getting the ball into him all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, Curtis is signed for Kilmarnock today, I think. Isn't he? That's him away to Kilmarnock.
There you go, aye.
Is that a done deal? I didn't know that.
So, aye. I think it's done deal. But I would rather have kept him. I can't believe it. Lyle Cameron needs minutes as well, but I would never have wanted him to go to Aberdeen. I would never have let him go there. Don't think it's the right place for him, right environment. Because as they signed him, they didn't mention Rangers had loaned him to them. It just said Aberdeen would like to welcome Scotland under 21 international Lyle Cameron to the club. So that shows you what they are about. And then the incident with Raskin up there as well, I just wouldn't give him any player, to be honest with
you. If that's true about Finlay Curtis, I tell you what, Kilmarnock have got themselves a good player, a right good player. So Neil McCann and wee Billy Dodds, they'll be delighted if that bit of business is done that Charlie's just telling us there. So I loved that about the boy the other night. You know, even at his age, you know, what is he, 18, 19, sometimes you can feel sorry for yourself, but there was nothing like that with him. He was just wanting to go out and show what it was all about. And another one with Lyle Cameron. I've watched him over the last number of 4 or 5 years. He's a good player, by the way. In Aberdeen, listen, he needs to play, doesn't he? It's maybe no ideal, obviously, with everything that goes on between Rangers and Aberdeen. But the bottom line is the boy's going to get first-team football up there, and he'll show them how good a player he is.
Oh, it's strange because he was doing well with Rangers as well.
It was the shining light at the start of the season. Him and Gassama were our two best players at the start of the season. Gassama's been nowhere near it since. Obviously, Cameron's been injured since, so that's disappointing for him. I think Lyle Cameron's size probably doesn't help him. I think we've signed three big units. We've just signed the three players we've brought in are big units, are big athletes, and I think we Cameron maybe no fit the bill.
But you got to take on board or not, Charlie. Probably our best player in the last 5-6 weeks was wee Barron. You know, again, not the biggest, but it's obviously something that the manager's looking at, isn't he? He wants that height, whether it's in an attacking sense or defensive. But sometimes you don't need to be a big 6'1", 6'2" to go and terrorise opposition.
We know that, Derek, because we won I'm not saying we terrorised people, but we played. What the hell? So we know.
You can give a wee bit out,
But I think he's bringing a lot of big units into the team. I think they're big boys, strong boys, fit boys. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm looking forward to Scott Allison, to be fair.
What do you think that the manager doesn't see in Curtis? Because there's Angus Mackay, he's saying he totally agrees with you, Charlie. We should have kept Curtis. We keep doing this with young players. Can't get my head around this one. And I'm kind of the same. I can't understand why we've let him go. Every time he comes on for us, he does well.
I agree with Angus as well. And Angus is a mate of mine, so hi Angus. But the thing with Curtis is, let him go and play then. If he's not going to get any minutes with us, it's a waste of time, as we say with Cameron as well. Let him go and play. I would have kept Curtis, and it'd been front of Gassama for me now. No doubt about it. He's done more for me in the last couple of months than Gassama has done. And Gassama's played triple, maybe 70% more game time than the wee man. For Gassama's gave me nothing for the last couple of months, I don't think. But the manager sees it differently every day in training. He picks the teams. So I wish Curtis and Cameron, we want them to go and do well, go and show the manager that he's wrong to get rid of him, on loan obviously, but hopefully he can go and hit the ground running for Kilmarnock and they can get good minutes into themselves and be ready for pre-season for us in the summer.
Derek, what's your thoughts on the new set-piece guy, Scott Fry? Because obviously that's quite a new thing, but it seems to be working.
It's been different class, isn't it? And it helps when you've got, as Charlie says, under the stature and the height of Fernandez. It's brilliant to go on and attacking the ball, but it's good that they work on things. I mean, when we played, we never had set-piece coaches, but it was something that was worked on, but maybe it's, I don't know, it's a real specialist area that they really work on. I just wonder how it works, because when I was mentioning wee Barron there, Barron then became he was on the set pieces, he was on the delivery, you know, and I wonder what he does at training, where he goes with, right, I've got 2 or 3 players, and he kind of susshes out who's the best at delivering, because it's all about the delivery. You can practice things day in, day out, but it's on match day, when the pressure's on, can you deliver that ball exactly where you're asked to? It's the same when you go with penalty kicks in big games. You can practice them day in, day out, but it's when the pressure's on and when you need to produce that. So it's, I'd just like to know how they come to that decision, but it's something that every other club's got it. It's just the way the football is. So they look at every aspect, man. There'll be somebody making sandwiches. It'll be a specialist in making sandwiches and all that, and cups of tea for them and coffee. Well, it's mad, isn't it?
Well, we're saying that Barron's delivery was great against Aberdeen, but it was very poor against Celtic, if you remember.
Celtic. And he came off it, Charlie. Can you remember that? There was one instance when he went like that. He went, right, I'm going to get somebody else. I love that because he acknowledged I'm not quite on it today, so somebody else come and have a go. I quite like that when somebody does that. A good honesty about them.
Aye. How much time, Charlie and Derek, how much time did you used to spend in set pieces when you were playing?
We didn't really do much. We would only do maybe some would do a game, or if it's a night game, we'd maybe do a wee bit, we'd get in, do a wee half hour, maybe 45-minute game, and then do work on who was at back post, who was marking who, whatever, who was edge of the box. But we never really had much, because Goffey and things like that, guys like that and Big Mark used to go and win headers for us and kind of get us out the park, Big Petrich or McLaren and guys like that. So I don't think we really conceded many goals with headers, but we didn't really, because see when we did at training, we never did anywhere to train really, because we were always in the minibus away to maybe Jordan Hull or away up to Annie's Land and then straight back onto the bus. So you didn't really get to work on many things, if you get where I'm coming from, because we were always travelling a fair distance to go to train.
For me, Ricky, it was the day before the game. You know, if it was a Saturday game, Friday, because you wouldn't do a lot physically in the Friday. You know, a wee warm-up, maybe a wee five-a-side, and then you would just go through your set pieces. So you would run through that for about 15, 20 minutes. So everybody knew. If it was a game on a Wednesday night, you would do it on a Tuesday. So, and it was just, and that's all it would be that 15, 20 minutes. But with the new setup now, they must spend, I don't know, and this is what I don't know, I'm not privy to it, but they must spend a hell of a lot of time on it. So, but you've just got to be careful. You don't, well, it's not obviously going to be physically demanding, but sometimes players, you know, can get a wee bit of restless once they've done their stuff. That's a great question. I'd love to know how exactly it works, but for me, it was just day before a game, 15, 20 minutes, we'd run through everything.
But they're that up and howie now all the time, so they can go out and do that. They can do that when maybe 10 minutes before they finish training, or they can do it at the start of training. They could surely, they've got, even indoors, they've got the indoor pitch. You can work on things in the indoor pitch. So I'm sure they've lots and lots of places to work on things up there. That's what it's built for, to obviously bring kids through and work in shape, set pieces, whatever. So we just never had it. We just used to go and mark your own man or mark your back post and just don't get beat for the header.
There's Robert Elliott saying old school set pieces. Our big guys mark their big guys.
Aye, there you go.
Simple. So, do you know much about the new signings? Because obviously we've got 3 signings so far, and he's saying that there's maybe two more coming in. I think one of the ones is the boy for Motherwell. Is it that Tawanda?
Last one he said, is he coming in?
Oh,
he's a good player, by the way.
Celtic are interested in him, but Rangers are looking at him now as well.
He's. I'll tell you what, you're talking about his pace and power. He's a handful, by the way. So as I've watched him over the course of the last season or so, he's decent, by the way. I don't think he would come in and let us down anyway. Sometimes you can't beat pace up front as well. I love that, you know. And for me, he loves to run the channel. The only thing is a lot of the times we are going up against teams that sit in with a low block, so you've not got that room to run into. But if it was counter attacking football, he's brilliant at that at Motherwell. So he's a good player.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, what about other 3 players?
It was funny because I read that Celtic had approached Leeds for Joe Pyro, and I thought, surely that is a nonsense. Surely Leeds aren't going to give him Joe Pyro to come up here. They paid 16 million from about 2 seasons ago to get Golden Boot in the Championship last year. He's not played as many minutes this season, so I'm thinking, why don't we get him? Why doesn't he come up to us and we can get him in their team and hopefully score goals against them? So, but they've rubbished the idea of Celtic getting that guy. So,
can I ask you a wee question to you on that? Well, you know, we bit disappointed. Shermiti never get a run out the other night against Annan. I mean, Miofsky gets his 3 goals. I thought there was an opportunity to put Shermiti on there and bag himself a few goals, because there's nothing better if your strikers are scoring goals, what it does for their confidence. I thought that was a wee kind of missed opportunity.
I think the big man he's still Friday. He's still in cloud 9 for Parkhead, so he's all right. He can play in that for another 6 months if we win the league.
Charlie, you're getting a few compliments about your moustache.
Oh,
That's a beauty, isn't it? That's tremendous.
Moustache is magnificent.
Where did you buy that for?
I get told the day it looked like something out
I know what it is.
an Al Pacino film or something.
Aye, one of the films. Aye, I know.
There's Aldo Penny saying my fear is our last 3 Marquee loans in January have been utter garbage. Ramsey, Silva, and Diallo. So
I think Scott Allison's a different level. I really do. I think he'll be a top player for us, and we've got an obligation to buy him as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he'll be a top player. I think he's kind of like my pal Cherny. I wasn't the maddest Cherny, but his numbers didn't lie. But he's a bit. I think he's different for Cherny, but he plays in a similar position as Cherny. I'm sure he'll be a very good player for us. You don't get 40 caps for Denmark at 26-year-old without being half decent. You don't get the moves for Club Brugge to would you call it Wolfsburg without being decent. Obviously, Ramsey played at a top level. When we got him, when we got Ramsey was probably by his best, unfortunately, but he was a good player. He still had a few good moments for us, but one that we'd rather forget when they missed the penalty against Eintracht. But Diallo was just maybe too young. He was a rabbit in the headlights when he played at Parkhead that night, and we're 3-0 down after 15 minutes. And Silva's a player. Silva was no doubt a player. Dive is he loved a dive, but he was a technically very good football player. Didn't do as much as we would have liked. But he's at Borussia Dortmund now, so the guy is a player. You can't say he's not a player, you know. But it's no work for us. I know what the guy was saying there. The last 3 Marquee ones haven't been the best, but I'm sure Scott Allison will be a good signing.
Right. Ricki, you just never know. That's the thing. Every signing, you know, you would love it to work out, but it just doesn't always happen that way. That's because everything that goes playing with Rangers, it's 24/7. So it is. But the thing with Olsen is, Charlie just says it, you know, he is a top player. It's no work for him at Wolfsburg, probably because they've been struggling a little bit this season. And sometimes in struggling teams, you don't get maybe enough of the ball. What he's going to get at Rangers, he's going to get a lot of the ball. So we're looking forward to seeing him. It's a big 6'3" winger. I can't wait. Gets all juices flowing. That I think he's going to. I think he'll hit the ground running. I think he's going to be top drawer for us. Really is.
Good. There's Robert Elliott saying the Castle Milk Magnum.
Chocolate white and inside, is that what you're saying?
Right, so Thursday we've got Ludogorets 8 p.m. What do you think about Europe now? It's got any chance?
Rubber in it. We're just about it.
Is that totally it? I finished.
Aye, we've got 2 games left.
Aye.
Is that what it's left?
I think we've got 2 games left. I'm sure we have. I can't think.
What would you do then? How would you line up? Or are you concentrating the league now at this stage?
The league 100%, but you can't because it's the guys that are in the Europa League squad in it. So 3 new guys can't get in, which is decent. So they'll be ready for the games at the weekend. Just have to hopefully we can keep the rest of the guys fit that are in the Europa squad. But I think it's a dead rubber now. If there is 3 games left, I don't think there is 3 games left, but
it's just 2, so
aye. So we can only get 7 points if we win the 2 of them. So I think get 2 dead rubbers for us really. So just about getting guys minutes again Thursday night. Dundee at the weekends. The Sunday's a very important game. That's the one we need to win. Obviously, it's Hearts and Celtic at Tynecastle. So hopefully both of them drop points and then we can get a good result against Dundee.
Keep the momentum going. Ricki,
Ricki,
it's all about keeping the momentum going. Honestly, level of play, it's been brilliant recently. So you want to maintain that. So it's a good level of opposition. It's a good place because the players will want to test themselves. I know what Charlie says, there's no a lot riding on it. But it's about keeping the feel-good factor because you need to keep that going for now at the end of the season. We can sniff this. We've got a wee opportunity. So you take every game on its own merit. So good opposition, decent opposition. Go and test yourself. Maybe try out 1 or 2 wee things that could maybe help us get into the title running. So they're all good games. They're all good games when you play in Europe. The players will enjoy it. So they will. That's it. And that's they'll want to go up for that and show what they're all about. So, but keep that momentum going. That's how I was disappointed at the start of that Annan game. I know it's the opposition; they would probably looking at that, but it was the level of play in the first half hour for me wasn't good enough. So there's a great opportunity on Thursday night. Go and show what you're all about.
Do you know, Derek? I was quite impressed with Annan in the first 10 minutes. I thought they were playing some really nice football. Then when the goal went in, that was them.
Aye, but there's reasons for that. You know, it's the way we started. We were slow at the blocks. We were just expecting one another to go and do something. Go and make it happen yourself. And if somebody's no at it, you get after them. So about getting up to a level of play, I was really disappointed in that. So listen, the European games, they're good games to play in. And we can maybe try 1 or 2 wee things out.
No worries. Right, we'll get the score predictions in.
Score predictions brought to you by Avia Signs.
Before I do that, Curry Munch was asking, is it just me, Ricki, or is Charlie morphing into Neil McCann? You're getting it tonight, Charlie, on the group chat.
Morphing into Neil McCann, I don't get that.
Charlie's far better looking than Neil McCann. Come on.
Much better Tash.
Oh, that's a Tash and a half.
Munch is beating Curry.
Aye.
I was going to say that's a Tash, but I'll not go there.
So, predictions for Thursday then?
I'm going to go. I think we'll win. Sorry, Derek. I think we'll win 3-1. I think, but if the boys' tails are up, we don't want to finish near the bottom of that group. We want to get higher up. We don't want to be bottom of that group. That's embarrassing because I think we're about 4th bottom in 1 point. So, and if we had Danny Roll in earlier in the season, we'd probably have maybe 6 or 7 points get into this game. But that's not the case, unfortunately. But I think they'll still want to win the game. If we could get a good result against About The Gers, then great. I think we can win 3-1. So we really need to get a good result. There, I see that the coefficient points to be great Olympic access. So then there you go. If we finish, we need it for coefficient points as well. So fingers crossed we can go and get 3 points. But I think we'll win 3-1.
Derek?
I'm looking at a clean sheet and a 2-0 would do me fine. A goal in each half, good performance, and take that into the weekend. I'd be happy with that.
I'm going to say the same as Paul McCordick as well, 2-0. And I think Cherny, I think he might. No, not Cherny. I'm losing it tonight. Chermiti. I think I can see him scoring again. I think he's hopefully broke the, what do you call it?
The seal.
Broke the seal. Right, Dundee at the weekend. You can go first, Eric.
It's a tough one there. I mean, you've gone with their last performance. You've seen them against Celtic. They performed pretty well. So his Hearts, sorry, I'm saying Celtic. They performed pretty well. So he's got them going, his old Elvis, of late. So they've picked up a good bit. So it's another toughie, but again, it's a game we can win. I've got it's a boring scoreline. I'm going to give it again. I want clean sheets and a couple of goals. I'd be happy with that. So a 2-0 on Thursday and a 2-0 on Sunday.
Charlie?
I'll go 3-0 on Sunday.
Oh, you're the same as William Henderson. William Henderson's saying 3-0 as well. Broke the camel's back. That's what I was meaning. Anyway, right, we'll probably be back on Friday at some point. So make sure you follow us on YouTube and hit the wee notification button so you don't miss us. And thanks to all our sponsors, Loudon Tavern, Ibrox, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Mr. Singh's India Restaurant, and Avia Signs. And I'll probably be at the Loudon Beer Garden on Sunday to do another podcast of the Fan Zone. So we'll see you all Friday, hopefully. All right, take care, guys.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
Cheers.